SD Gundam Legilis. Hey, what's up again, everybody? Robert184, 2Rs2Bs Gundam Reviews.net, and you can see here from the SD Age 1, 2, and 3 spinning around. Well, you might have at the beginning thought that the Gundam Legilis had something to do with it, but carrying on in a trend that we've been sort of seeing lately with the old Gundam is why not have the bad guys in the famous tricolor colors here, but really it's going to be the UE Vegan green BBB buys that are going to set him apart as a bad guy, and definitely mark him as a rival for the soon-to-arrival SD Age FX. 2012 release towards the end of Gundam Age. The price you can make out down there is 1,000 yen. It's number 374 in the unbelievably long-running BB Senshi line. You can see the name there in English and Japanese, and there he is, definitely looking more like a Gundam than a shadowy bat as we've seen on the cover. The Legilis so far has an advanced grade and a high grade release, so you've got the SD Gundam, which is only the fourth to come out in Gundam Age after you already saw the Age 1, 2, and 3 spinning around. Remember that you have to buy more than one copies if you want to get all the different wears on. And remember that Zeheart is he of the many mobile suits, including the four that you see here between the Zetis R, and then of course you can see more of his new, more traditional Char Reds, minus the Zagok, which never showed up before he moved into this definitely not Xianggu. Looking around the box, you can see that there's lots of play options, or so it would seem, for a kit of this relatively small height. The Legilis cannon here is going to be able to move around. It looks like it's got a few moving points there, and you can also see something that we didn't see in the anime in the form of the Legilis core. It can blast off, and it's going to have some pretty looking ugly parts there on the inside, which are done here in gray. Probably not that way when you actually crack them out of the box and don't paint them up, because they should just be white. You can see that he's going to have the cannon tail there and the rifle, which is looking pretty good. Lots of gray and white. Again, we'll have to see how that's going to play out. The eyes, 3 different options, which is great. Usually with the BB Senshis, you get the 2, the serious Gundam eye and the cartoony eyes. Here you're also going to be getting that very iconic, well, not quite a mono eye iconic, although it is just a one eye, the slit there that's going to light up in green whenever they showed up to harass Flit at the beginning and beyond. You can see that he's going to have the beam busters there that are going to make up the chest part. Wonder how that's going to be made in plastic there. The shield is going to have 3 colors here, although probably not that many on the inside. But then it's time to take a look at the action poses, where he's up on an action base too. The rifle, he can look down the barrel there, and the shield is going to look pretty good. No lights bursting out all over the place. The beam saber in hand, hopefully that's not just white, is going to look pretty good there. The arms are actually going to be able to move around, which is sort of cool that you can pop them out and do different things. And a pretty cool looking pose there as he shows off his branding with the Adidas striping here that you'll notice are going to be lined in black by a pro. The beam saber here, it can actually attach into this custom hand parts. Very noticeable for what we've already seen with the Vegans, although he's just going to have the same one color. Not like the old yellow palms that we've seen on some of his other prior suits to that. And it looks like here that you're going to have these parts here that you can swap on and off for the 3 different sets of eyes. You'll notice there's not a lot of focus on the actual pilot here, Zeheart or Ezelcant. As you can see, the H3 orbital looking pretty good there. And then you can see that you're going to have the parts all laid out. Lots of small colored parts there along with the seals. And they are just cheating and just showing you a tiny little vision there. But the more important one here is that when you take it out of the box, here's what you're going to be getting. The real question will be how much is seals, how much is plastic. But you can see that there's going to be yellow plastic there on the back for Adidas striping and on the soles of the feet, which is looking good. Sides of the shoulders, so lots of apps already there. You can see that the inside of the wings are going to look pretty dull unless they're painted up in proper gray. The green eye slits there are going to look hopefully good, whether they're done in seals or clear green plastic. And you can see that the gun is going to have some white parts on it. Gray on the tops of the soles there. The shield is looking good, that nice red jewel there. And there you go. You've got all these weapons, but something that certainly is missing compared to some of the other ones. For 1,000 yen for this SD kit, it's not going to have the tons of different gimmicks that we've already seen, so you wonder if this one's not ever so slightly overpriced, considering how much fun we've had with the Age 1, 2, and 3 so far. Inside the box we go, where you're going to be treated to the mandatory large amount of SD stickers there. All white on the A-plate with some polycaps and some AG style, lots of little colorful plates there. Extra polycaps, blue, red, yellow, and some nice gray inner frame there, if you want to call it that, for the SD to go along with some big clear green parts. And again, that cool looking manual with the art. The day of multicolored A-plate seems to have gone slightly the way of the dodo bird with what they've been doing with the AG and, to a lesser extent, HG line of Gundam Age. But you can see that the Legilis is going to have a lot of white all over the place, well molded here, as you can make out the fact that he's actually got legs, unlike previous SD models. I'm talking the old school ones, but it's great to see that he's going to have these slits here, which are going to expose some color on the insides. You can see some distinctively vegan marks over there, and of course you're going to have the wings, which are hopefully going to look pretty good, depending on which side you're looking at them of. Of course, you want to see more of this and a lot less of the inner frame. B and C are going to be very pleasing to the eye because you've got both the parts for the weapons here, a very vegan looking hand there that looks quite angry and could be lots of fun on lots of different kits, the regular weapon holding hands there, and the two sets of eyes with the all-important slit there that you can see to go along with the more traditional one that you just put the seals onto. Also some gray there to add to the torso section, but it's the yellow and the Adidas stripes that are coming this, that, and everywhere. You can see that these ones are going to plug into the chest. You've got the large ones for the neck, for the parts under the waist, and you're also going to have the skirts, and pretty much these are just incredible details, the kinds of things that you really would not have expected on an old school high grade. You can imagine that you can imagine these all would have been seals back in the day, instead of nicely molded plastic that you can add some black inking to if you really wanted to make them pop even more than they already are. D, E, and F are almost making a traffic light here, as you're going to get the red parts there for the soles of the feet. You're also going to be getting the goatee and the all-important jewel up there for the top of the head, it looks like. Also the red part that's going to go on the shield, so you should be having at least two colors there. No yellow it looks like at the moment anyway. But you're also going to be getting these blue parts here that are going to provide everything that you need for the chest, all important, and the back there. And you're also going to be getting some nice green parts here, which are going to look good for both the laser and for the eyes. You can see that they're going to look a little bit awkward there, just based on the fact that he's got those slits there on the inside. PC7 for the polycaps, and just when I've been praising the plastic parts, well, it's time to say, yes, it looks like this kit is going to have lots and lots of seals, and you're going to have to wonder just how many of these are mandatory and how many of these you can choose to put on if you don't want to add your own details or painting. For the shield, it looks like you are going to have some yellow details there, again applied by seals around the red and the white part there. You're also going to have that large red part there for the jewel, and you can also see some large green parts for the other camera lenses. Two sets of eyes if you want to do the serious ones or the very cartoony ones, which you saw silhouetted on the cover. And you're also going to have more of these yellow stripes, which you can see are going to be applied all over the place, including on the shoulders, it looks like. You're also going to be getting these slightly metallic looking seals down here for some of the inner frame, and lots of white parts that are not only going to add white color, but actually the ability to just have those black lines already on there. So even if they're not etched in there and you're going to have to use a marking pen, I suppose you can just go and put these on instead when you're adding them onto the weapons and the like. I'm a huge fan of that cover art there, and you can see that he's going to have lots of parts that are going to be needing those seals. And how about that bat-like silhouette? Seems like something right out of SDG Generations. Gundam Legilis is its name, and when you go to the inside, you can see all the plates there that you already saw. They're going to tell you how to put it all together. You don't need lippers necessarily. These are Caropla style, so you can just pop them out. Seals 40 yen to replace, 40 yen also for the parts, and 80 for the instruction manual. Which when you go inside, you'll notice that it's very, very white, which means that there's not a lot to this, despite the fact that it's 4 pages. You can see how many parts there. The SD, of course, the head is the most important thing. You're going to put the red part, you're going to put the green part behind the eyes, and hopefully that's going to show through well with the slit. Of course, you could cover it up and never use it. A camera lens there on the back. Actually, putting in yellow parts there is a big plus for the side yellow Adidas venting stripes there. You can see that you're going to have a big seal and pop the helmet on. And for the body, it looks like you just put the back on there. And for the vegan tail, it looks like he's going to have some moving parts, and it looks like I wonder how many it's going to move around there. Probably not all that much. But for the wing / core fighter / eject part that, yes, Zeheart didn't seem to use, you can see that it looks like it's going to be covering up most of those inner ribs there, unless you actually spin them out of the way. And you've got that neck section there that you can drop into the actual hollow chest, which is why there aren't that many blue parts. And for the arms and legs, you can actually put those together. They're going to have pretty decent movement in terms of the elbows from what we've seen in the past. Seals on the top of the shoes there if you want to make the feet the actual 3 colors. And once you put together the upper body and put the limbs on, and it's time to add the seals to the weapons here for the Legilis rifle. You've also got the Legilis shield with the yellow seal on there. You can see the way that it's going to just attach into the hand on either side there. Sort of cool that it's got 2 parts there for the rifle, top and bottom. You can take the hand off and actually put in the beam saber there, which is going to be actually yellow plastic and not made out of clear or anything. but still looking pretty good. You can put that into the Vegan/UE hands, and there it is. Put the core bat into the upper body, and you can unfold those, and it's going to look pretty ugly if you look at it from the front, and even more so like a chicken there when you look at it from the side. But it's got a custom mount point there, so Action Base 2 sold separately, you can attach 2. Before moving on to laugh at Comic World Age 4, as we get to see the Legilis fight the FX before he just gets so scared that he jumps right out of his body. Then the Age FX and everybody asks him, well, he's going to have none of that, and they all go bada. To the back, you can see some cartoony variations and gimmicks laid out here, including the serious eyes, the regular eyes, and the old school squinties, beep eyes. You've also got the Legilis core there and the Legilis cannon, which is looking again like the bottom of a single chicken's foot. Don't really know what else to make about that. Of course, they're going to tell you that if you want to go and detail it up with some lining markers, please go ahead and do that, and you can have a nice step with it. And for the BB original gimmicks, which they always like to do, well, you can take the Legilis, and I gotta say that's a pretty cool combo, as you've got fortress legs, orbital waist, orbital arms there, and you've still got the Legilis core on the inside. And while you're at it, why not take the Age 3 and put on its full wear variation? Sort of reminds me of F90 there, as you've got both guns in hand, orbital feet, and fortress shoulders. So if you wanted to have a hodgepodge suitable for a video game, yes, the BB Senshi original gimmicks are for you.